Hey, good logic down at the courthouse, day 9. I have to do a short video because I was on Tim Pool. Just gonna let you know, Kid Cudi testified. Yes, direct, cross, redirect, the whole shebang. So let me break it down for you really quick, really fast. Basically, he gets up on the stand and tells about his relationship and primarily focusing on the Diddy learning about the relationship between Cassie and Kid Cudi, and how she called him up and said he knows about us and he's all jittery. He thought that they had broken up. He thought that they were on a split, and he knows about us and he's all furious, and she's all anxious and afraid, and also that she had given him his address and he should be aware that Diddy might be coming to his house. So he meets her at a hotel, which he thought was like a safe place, and then they get a phone call from Capricorn Clark, who's an associate of Diddy. And Capricorn says, we're right outside Kid Cudi's house. Me and Diddy and an associate of Diddy are outside Kid Cudi's house. So Kid Cudi gets in his car and heads back home, leaving Cassie at the hotel. And he's yelling at Diddy, are you in my mother effing house? And he's like, and Diddy, he said, was so calm. He's like, I want to talk to you. And he's like, are you at my mother effing house? He's like, well, I want to talk to you. By the time he gets back to the house, Diddy's not there. He said that he went inside and he saw that he had left his door open. But then when he went inside, he saw that someone had gone through his packages and his dog had been locked in the bathroom. And from that day forward, his dog would act jittery. So now now he's outraged. And he goes looking for Diddy. And he got in his car and he's driving, and they have an exchange where he's like, I want to talk to you. He's like, well, you're going to be talking to me. Come to my house. And then after they had that exchange, he said he thought better of it. He's like, I don't know who's coming with him. I don't know he's got guns. I don't know what's going down here. And he said he thought about it some more, and he called the police and told the police that there was someone who had trespassed or burglarized and gone into his house. So police come, and he makes a report with them. Diddy isn't there. Diddy never ends up showing that day. But then he ends up going out to Connecticut and he meets with Cassie. And when he meets with Cassie and he tells her, hey, Cassie ends up breaking up with him when he goes to Connecticut over Christmas because he said it was too unsafe, it was too dangerous, too unsafe. So there have been threats that Kid Cudi was going to destroy, firebomb Kid Cudi's Porsche 911. His Porsche 911. So, sure enough, January 9th, 2012, Molotov cocktail. Someone rips open the ceiling of the convertible, drops Molotov cocktail inside. We get to see pictures of that. He ends up having a meeting. The last time he's spoken to Cassie Ventura was the next day. He said when they had a meeting at the Soho house, and this is how he describes it. So I get there, it's supposed to be me and Diddy, and I come upstairs, and when you walk into the meeting room that they used to have there by the Soho house, there's a wall of windows that's just like this floor-to-ceiling windows is one wall overlooking Beverly Hills. Diddy's standing there, and he's got his back to me with his hands clasped behind his back like he's some Marvel supervillain. And we end up having a conversation. And what were you talking about? Well, he said, you know, you were my homie. You knew she was my girl. He's like, I thought you were on a break. And we had this whole exchange back and forth. And then Cassie showed up. And I was very confused why she was there. Because I thought after, he had heard about all the physical abuse that she had suffered at his hands. And the threats. And the blackmail and the extortion. He knew about all of that stuff. It was like, why are you back with him? Why? And he was very confused. But he ended up admitting to defense on cross that, hey, look, she played us. Cassie played me, Cassie played Diddy. And that's the terms they came to. At the very end of the meeting, he said, I shook his hand and I said, what about my car? And I wanted to be holding his hand when I did that. I wanted to look him in the eye and have him say to me, give me an answer for the car. And he goes, I don't know anything about that. And then I start walking out, and he goes to me, hey, just make sure, we cool? Meaning, is this over? That's what Diddy said to Kid Cudi. And Kid Cudi said, you say you know nothing about it, I got nothing more here. We're cool. And he said a few years later that Diddy ended up apologizing, saying, I'm sorry about all that BS that went down. So we end up having this cross, and the effective part of the cross was them basically coming out and saying that Cassie was very successful at convincing her that she was done with Diddy, and to help portray her as someone who can convince people of things that are not true, which we can expect that the defense is going to raise in their closing arguments. That certainly was a win for them. On redirect, the final question on redirect was about the whole exchange in the Soho house when they had their final meeting, and the final question was, so he said that you said we're cool. Did you think he was telling you the truth, that he knew nothing about your car? He's like, no, I thought he was lying. And that's what we got today. So short breakdown, and yeah, I'll be reporting later this afternoon. So then, Godspeed.